Here's a harsh reality check. 90% of child sexual abuse predators are known to the victim. 90%. So that means if a child has come out and said they've been abused by someone, 90% of them know the predator. Now, the repercussion of this is that the person they speak out to, the family, the friends, the extended network will also know the predator. And here's a reality check. You absolutely fucking suck. You suck if you still support that predator, if you still are friends with them, if you still go and hang with them, if you look after them, if you harbor them, if you protect them, if you help them. You suck. That's coming from a victim herself, someone who's been in that situation where the predator for me was an uncle. And the reality was that yes, when you do speak out, people are going to question and disbelieve and disprove and gaslight and do all of these such things. And then at the end of the day, you find out people will still be friends with this person, still care for this person, still live with this person, still protect this person, still allow this person around children, still think that this person did nothing wrong. Now, it's people like you who are part of this problem. Yes, the predator exists. Yes, there are perpetrators out there and they need to be reprimanded for what they have done. But people who support them, people who stay by their side, people that go, oh, but they're only human. That's not what we're questioning here. Are the people who make this harder for victims to survive, for victims to thrive moving forward. Because you are disregarding what has actually happened. Remember, we're not talking about dislikes or a disagreeing on a certain value, a certain like or a certain thing that they have going on in their life. We're talking about value lines here. We are talking about the belief systems around humanity. We are talking about harming an innocent human. We are talking about harming, even worse, an innocent child. Now, this is not a matter of I disagree, you agree, this is our own point of view. This is about fact of what is right and wrong. There are only a few things in the world that we can really discuss that are kind of right and wrong, and everything else can be your own opinion. But there's no opinion here. It is wrong. You have touched a young child, you have abused and molested, raped, you have harmed a young child. And yet, people still out there will support and honor you and look out for you and protect you. You are part of the problem. You are part of the problem. You are just as bad as the predators themselves because you allow for their behavior to be a norm. You allow for their behavior to exist. And you allow for their behavior to stay in a community and continue within tribes, communities, and allow it to happen further and further to another victim. You don't even have the courage to speak up against it and identify that is wrong. You completely, blatantly ignore it. Now, this was a personal experience of mine where when I came out to the family, I was very blessed. My immediate family, my mother and my father, absolute support. But then we realized the darkness that lived within the family, the extended family, cousins, aunties, uncles, grandparents, that harbored this person who hid it behind our backs, that they were still talking to them, they would still see them, they were giving them money to help them, that they were looking after them, that they allowed their children around them. This doesn't make sense. You know that they're a predator. So is it one of two things? You don't believe they did it, or you ignore the fact that they did it. Because the reality is they did it. A victim doesn't speak out to bullshit a story, especially a child victim. So you either don't believe it, and then you're naive to what actually exists in this world, or you ignore that it even happened. So you're even more naive, and you're endangering other humans, other children. And you're making it hard for the reality of the world to be a better place. Because people like you hold these predators in high esteem still, look at them as if they've done nothing wrong, and keep them within our population and trying to protect them from going to jail, from being looked at or shamed. But they should be, because they are a danger to society. They literally destroyed a child's life. They had the ability to completely ruin someone's future, someone's past and present, and you're just there supporting them. Now, a lot of people go, yeah, but it's inhumane. I'm not asking you to kill them or anything of the such. I'm asking you to stand up for what is right. I'm asking for you to support the victim, to help them, put them in jail, to remove them from society where they are in contact with children, to allow people to know that they exist, to allow people to know that this person is a predator. So be warned. Because if we could just label them and say, hey, this person did this, stay away, children. Families, stay away. Understand who this person is. Yes, they will be segregated. Yes, they will be secluded. They did that to themselves. They are not a victim. They chose. They made a choice to do an unlawful and horrible, inhumane thing to a child. So they chose their path. So they should reap the consequences of that. But no, there are people out there that wholeheartedly will still support them. And the sucky thing is, they are usually your friends and your family. Because remember, 90% of predators are known to the victim. So that means our families, our friends, supporting the person who harmed me or harmed the victim. And that was the worst part of this trauma. Was not that I was molested as a child. Yes, that is horrible, but the aftermath was worse. That I had grandparents holding on to it and saying, oh, no, but he's my son, he's this, I don't give a fuck. What about what happened to me? And this is the reality. We hear so many victims out there going, I lost my friends, I lost my family, I don't want to speak out because I'm going to lose them. What a sad expectation to have, is that if we tell the truth, we are going to be at fault. We are going to be victim blamed. We are going to be secluded. How horrendous is that of a thought? That people that have been harmed, that are innocent, are the ones left on the sidelines by themselves, unprotected, unsupported. So yes, those of you who know a victim and have still supported a predator, you fucking suck. You are not someone that abides by what is right. You do not have a heart. I don't care that you are looking after, oh, but they're a predator, but they need help. That's on them. But what about that innocent human who was harmed, who their life was potentially destroyed forever, who were living with traces of abuse for the rest of their life, trying to overcome it? Or who are too scared to speak out because they believe people like you exist, because the reality is they do exist. Our own siblings, our own friends, our own family, our own fathers, our own mothers, our own people in our community actually will support the person who did wrong. And that's the reality. So please, look yourself in the mirror. And if you know of someone who is a victim, and you also know the predator, and you are still supporting that predator or in their life, make a choice. Make a choice to stand up for what is right. Because at the end of the day, it's people like you who fuck it up for the rest of us. And that's harsh to say, but it's the truth. And that only ever exists within certain very minute niche of a conversation, such as child sexual abuse. If people stand up for the predator, who's standing up for the victim? And if people are standing up for the predator, you're discrediting the victim. If people are looking out for the predator and supporting them and still being their friend, then you don't believe that victim. And you don't believe what actually exists in this world and how harsh this world can actually be. Then you're blind to the horrors of what exists. And what exists is child sexual abuse.